Hello again and welcome to This Week in Campbell Football. With head coach Mike Minter, I'm Chris Haymeyer. A lot to talk about. First and foremost, of course, this team off to the best start in modern program history at 2-0. But I know something that Coach Minter wants to hit on is the home crowds we've had for these first two wins, these first two victories. In the top 10 all-time single crowds, another sellout last weekend. Boy, the support here in the Creek has really been there for you and the guys.
Ever since I've been here, and it's getting bigger and better every single year, and you got to have that type of support to be able to be a good football team. When people come here, they feel that electricity. We had our first recruiting outing, and we had probably about 100 or so recruits that was here, and their parents and families, and what they said is, man, this is unbelievable. And so it's really because of the energy that the fans have brought. And like you said, I mean, over 5,000 fans again. And it's not like we was bringing in the Nebraska Cornhuskers. But people showed up. And that really shows you the support that the fans are giving us. And we're just so happy about that.
Those fans also happy about the fact that the Fighting Camels are 2-0. This is the 8th year of the program's rebirth here in the modern era and the best start ever in this modern era for Campbell football. Let's talk about the latest win. Gosh, as you said at halftime, almost a perfect first half for you guys.
We was definitely executing at a high level. I think everybody that saw the game in person or streaming online, everybody was like, man, that was some really good football that you guys played in that first half, and so we was excited for the players to be able to put into what we've been doing, practice, and then finally start to execute at that level. Cam is playing at a high level right now. Really started the game off real hot. And then we put Salmon in the game, who came in. What we did with him, because we was going to always play him in the third or fourth series in every game, because you got to get your second guy ready to go. And man, he just came in, electrified the whole place with the plays that he was making with his legs to show people he can run. And then, of course, he has one of the most powerful arms around. And so we were just happy about 4 out of 5 in the red zone. That's what it's all about. The defense did a great job of keeping them out the end zone, and 28-0 going into halftime. You're feeling pretty good. Our whole focus is coming out of halftime and see if we could begin to get an identity in that third quarter. And what I saw was it wasn't perfect football. It was kind of ugly football, but we fought through it, and we didn't keep going down. We just kind of stayed the course, and then eventually we got in the end zone. Kind of shot ourselves in the foot a couple of times, fumbled the ball. Unfortunately, throw the ball, and the DB hit. Being at the same time, ball pops up, they get the ball back. So 2 turnovers right there that we would love to have back. But other than that, I thought our football team, from special teams, defense, and offense, really played an excellent football game all the way around.
It was a 35-3 win for the Fighting Camels. Here's the highlights of last Saturday's victory. Military Appreciation Night as Campbell takes on Chowan in front of over 5,500 in Barker Lane Stadium. First drive of the game, Cam Bryant, a perfect 18-yard strike to Ben Bowling. Bowling with this catch ties CU's career TD reception record. The defense fantastic all night. Ugana Aranye with the sack, just the beginning. The D so dominant, allowing just 1 yard rushing in the first half. Secondary, pretty good as well. South Carolina State transfer Carlos Merritt with the great interception. And then back on offense, it's Bryant again. Heaves it to Aaron Blockman, who goes up and gets it. Take another look. An amazing catch for Blockman's second TD of the season. David Salmon now in at QB. He continues the air raid, delivering a beauty to Elon transfer Ricky Brown. It's an 8-yard TD. Campbell up 21-0 in the first half. Salmon again, this time delivering a beauty on the slant. Damon Simmons, 19 yards. Campbell up 28-0 at halftime. Campbell's D with 6 sacks on the night. allowing just 127 total yards for the Hawks, only 8 yards rushing. And the exclamation point, a 21-yard end around for Angelo Crawford-Reed. Campbell goes to 2-0 on the year with a 35-3 win.
Crawford-Reed.
One of the names you haven't heard very much here at Campbell is Danny Dillon. He's the long snapper, and as you know, Coach, it's an unfortunate thing on special teams. Usually you only say the long snapper's name when something goes wrong with the snap. I tell you this, folks, I've been here and seen every snap that Danny Dillon has thrown back there to the special teams, and there hasn't been a bad snap. And he's that good off the field as well.
He really is. Danny is a leader. He kind of reminds me of John Casey, a special teams guy that really everybody loved on the football team and respected, and that's how Danny is. I mean, he's that same type of character too. So when you talk about his faith and his beliefs and really how he carries himself, he carries himself as a young man that knows what he wants out of life, and he's going to get it. And the thing that I love is his work ethic. He really works very, very hard of snapping the ball. So he got all kind of tricks that he can do with the football. I'm sure you guys saw that on the clips, and just really enjoy life and really what God has blessed him with. And so we're happy to have him on our football team because I believe he is the catalyst for our kickers. I think he's the one who got Oz ready to go this summer, and really imparted to him, you got to work really hard to become really good at this game, and Oz has done that. And I think he's leading the country in punting right now, even though we only have 2 of them. But again, I think Danny is just that leader and that solid voice of our team. He always prays for us at the end of every practice, and every single guy respects him. And you don't have that when you talk about snappers.
Here is a look at Danny Dillon, a man of many talents.
In high school, you always worried about a bad snap, and you don't really have to worry about that with Danny. It's unusual to find an athlete like him that's able to snap as well as block and get down the field and make tackles.
Not just on the field, but his leadership off the field, and especially in that group of guys. We got a young group of guys, and our kickers and punters and the other long snapper we have here. They're very young, and just he's the glue that holds them all together.
I started long snapping when I was in 7th grade. They asked if anybody could do it, so I volunteered for the job. I was self-taught. Nobody really knew how to do it, so I watched a bunch of YouTube videos and kind of learned from there.
He's the guy that everyone looks up to, especially when they need help with something else. They can turn to Danny for help.
He's a great leader. He leads by example. Does everything you ask him to do and then some. He's always the first one in, last one out. Going to take that extra practice, extra reps, and it's just been a blessing to have these last 3 years we've been here. At that position, that's the most important position, especially on punts. Not having a punt snapped over the punter's head, and on field goals, extra points, that's where it all starts at that snapping the ball, getting it there at the right time in the right spot for the holders, and just having that consistency is huge. And it like I said, it's been great to have him for these 3 years. Just one thing we didn't have to worry about is snapping.
Danny Dillon is not your typical student athlete. Aside from being a self-taught long snapper, he is heavily involved throughout the community of Buies Creek and is well known here at Campbell University. One thing he takes the most pride in is volunteering here at the local Buies Creek Fire Department.
Basically lived at the fire department this summer. He's trying to get hours towards his PA requirements, so I know he's always around the community. Everybody knows him everywhere you go.
I like to get involved in the community, do community service, especially with my teammates. I think it helps bring us closer as a team.
Not only is Danny consistent with football, he is also busy off of the field as well.
Well, he just recently got engaged, which was big for him. He likes to play the trumpet. If you guys ever seen an air guitar, he likes to do it with the trumpet, so he plays the...
Great to spend eternity with you. In Jesus' name I pray.
Stamps on 3, 1, 2, 3, yeah!
Well, Campbell hits the road for the first time this season. Anytime you go on the road, always a challenge, but boy, a big challenge for you and the Fighting Camels this week. Down to take on a FCS scholarship program in Presbyterian College. This is a team, Coach, that last year went 6-5, beat 2 ranked teams in the FCS level. This year they've already played 2 FBS scholarship programs on the road. Wow, what a tough test for you guys.
Listen, they are a really good football team, and don't be looking at their record of 0-2 because they have placed, bigger schools, better schools. They're supposed to lose those games. Very similar to what we did last year when we kind of stepped up, but these guys are right in the thick of things when you talk about the Big South. And the Big South got a lot of good football teams. You got Liberty, you got Coastal Carolina, you got Charleston Southern, Gardner-Webb. So they right there, and really a couple plays away from almost winning the thing last year. So they got everybody back on defense. That is the heart of their team is their defense. But they got some running backs that can get it done. They got some wide receivers that can get it done. And so they're going to be bigger than what we've faced in the first 2 weeks and faster. And so we're going to have to raise our level of play up to be able to match their intensity. Trust me, they're going to be home for the first time. They're going to be fired up, and they're going to come out of that locker room with smoke coming out of their ears. And we're going to try to match that if we can and try to match the physical play that they're going to play with. And so, again, defensively, they coming at you. They got corners, they got linebackers, they can run. They got a defensive line that can put pressure on you. So we're going to have our work cut out from an offensive standpoint. And then their offense is very similar to ours, right? They give us a lot of different formations, a lot of misdirection type stuff. And so we just got to be disciplined and really stay where we're supposed to be able to try to stay in the game with these guys. But this is a good football team, well coached football team. I think Coach been there for a while, and they really got it going. I think really it's 63 scholarships for those guys. They was normally around 50-something. Now they are now at 63. So they got the full complementary of scholarships that they need at their level. And so that's why I think they've gotten better over the years.
Should be quite a challenge. Now, Campbell goes on the road. It's only about 4 hours away. We'd love to see you down there. If you can't make it, free video coverage through Presbyterian on the Big South Network. We'll offer free audio coverage on GoCamels.com. For Coach Mike Minner, I'm Chris Hameyer saying if we don't see you at 7 o'clock down at Presbyterian this Saturday, we'll see you next week on This Week in Campbell Football.